Mhm. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. I don't own the rights to the music. I'm gonna give a few minutes for people to come in. I'm gonna combine, which is something that I do personally sometimes during my readings. I combine the astrology, metaphysics with the numerology. So today we have a special treat. Today we are going to discuss attraction and sensuality with the numbers. Um, so please, hey Anisha, what's up? um, Feel free to donate if you can to my Cash App or my Venmo. It's actually listed in the description. So we are going to go into different things. I had some notes that I had to take because I was just information was coming to me. So we're going to talk a little bit about numerology and astrology. How do you attract this man or female under this number? And what do you like? First off, what do you like? What are you into? What is your attraction based on your birthday? The numbers and different things like that with using the metaphysics. So I'm kind of excited. I'm a little nervous because this is a new um, topic that I haven't discussed openly with everyone, except when I do like my personal readings, depending on if I feel like the person can go there, we can go there. So thank you everybody who's attending, who's showing their support. I really appreciate it. If you can, like I said, hit my Cash App or my Venmo, whatever you can give. If you're interested, if what I'm saying resonates with you, feel free to continue to support because it helps. So first, we're going to go in order of the numbers, and I'm also going to discuss some of the astrological signs associated with that number. We're going to focus on what what's the attraction with that number, as well as what's the sensuality. What is that? How is that person stimulated on an attraction level, but also how are they stimulated and what erogenous zones are they stimulated body wise? So first we're gonna go start with. Well, hold on, somebody's hitting my phone, so I'm gonna make sure that I let some of my peoples know I'm live real quick. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. We're gonna start with the number one as usual. When we come back, let me see. I hope y'all are excited. I hope y'all got your pens and papers if y'all want to learn more or take notes. Or if you have any questions, feel free to just write it in the comments. Let me turn off all these alarms. I have so many alarms on my phone. All right. So, first, we're going to start with the number one. Those are people. So, understand that when I talk about a number, I'm not just talking solely about your birthday number, the number day that you were born. I'm also speaking about that number and other aspects that are important to you. Um, For example, I'm also speaking about life path as well. I'm also speaking about maybe even the personal year cycle. If that resonates with you, maybe this year something is a little different for you than how things usually are. And when I speak about the astrology, when I go into the signs, you may feel like you may be a Cancer, for example, that seems to resonate more with Leo because you probably have Leo somewhere in your astrological chart. Um, so let's start with number one. Number one is ruled by the sun in astrology. Number one is ruled by Leo, rules the number one. It's also ruled by the sun. Every sign is ruled by a specific element. And number ones are people typically born on the first of the month, the 10th of the month, the 19th of the month, or the 28th of the month. These are people. if you want to attract a number one person, you got to kind of stand out. You can't be like everyone else. You got to kind of do your own thing, and you got to be someone who allows them to kind of do their own thing, because ones tend to like to step out of the box. They love original things, but hmm, they also like things for themselves. So if you're dealing with someone and you're trying to attract them and they're a number one person, they tend to like unordinary things to an extent, not too unordinary, but something different. So if you want to romance someone who's a number one, you have a lady that's born on the 1st, 10th, 19th, or the 28th of a month. Um, you can't do the typical things to attract her, the candy, flowers. It might not impress her as much. But if you come with like a unique kind of date, of something that you see that they're interested in. So if it's someone that's interested in art, but your date is to go to an art gallery and they've never had a date like that, that's something that, would attract the number one person. Number one men, it's interesting with number one men because they tend to like to be ahead of things, be the top dog at everything. They tend to like kind of control. Number one women do too, but if you're talking about dealing with them in the aspect of the bedroom, tend to like self-stimulation, and they tend to be drawn to what would I say? They tend to be drawn to things that make them feel like, yeah, I'm the one, I'm the best. You know what I mean? They tend to also enjoy oral stimulation because one deals with the self. So sometimes you might have someone who's not a number one, but they have a lot of number ones in their name. So they have some of that one vibration that you want to bring to them to attract them. If you're dealing with someone, and number one is a fire element, by the way. So they kind of like a little bit of feistiness. If you're dealing with someone born under the number two, let's say born on the 2nd of a month, the 11th of a month, even though 11 is a master number that we're going to come back to, because that's two on a much deeper, higher vibration. Um, the 2nd of a month, the 11th of a month, the 20th of a month. Um, those are people who really tend to like partnership. They tend to love pleasing others. They love to be kind of a giver. And those are people who like to spend time together, usually with people, to spend time to get to know them. So if there's a number two man that you're trying to attract, usually the number twos don't mind their partner kind of taking lead. Um, and we're going to go a little bit into compatibility after I go through the numbers. Just writing that note down for myself. Talk about compatibility of numbers and signs. Number two, people tend to like stuff like partnership. They tend to like coming together. They tend to like mutual exchange and balance, but they don't mind usually letting another person take lead. Um, they are big on security and reassurance. If you have a partner who is born under this number two vibration, then they're deeply intuitive, they're sensitive, they need comfort. They need you to hold them. They need you to be gentle with them, but to give them the reassurance that they would like. So, say for example, you're another number, you're not a number two, but you're in a two personal year cycle. It may be a year where that's what you need that year. You know what I mean? Usually you're independent, you stand alone. But if you're in a two personal cycle, you might want that affection. You might crave them hugs. See, number twos tend to love hugs. They tend to love to hug because it's a sense of security. Um, and two is ruled by the moon. So they have intense emotions. They feel things. You don't really want to lie to a number two or a number seven, in my opinion, because they'll figure it out any fucking way. They'll figure it out. Um, Yeah, so moving on to the number three. Those are people that tend to be, well, those are people that are born on the 3rd of a month, on the 12th of a month, on the 21st of a month, or the 30th of a month. Those are people who tend to like magnetic kind of attraction in chemistry. They tend to like people who are extroverted, who are outgoing people, and they tend to like public displays of affection. They might want you to grab them up, and and three is a fire number, so they like a little bit of that feistiness. They and they also like conversation. Threes can talk, and they want you to talk with them. And they may love to have you gossip with them about some shit. They may like to watch action movies with you. If you want to take them on a date and they're into action movies, take them to go see an action movie or a comedy. That would be something that would be um, fitting for a number three type of person. Um, and let's go into number four. Number fours tend to like mental stimulation. They tend to like intellectual conversations and things that they can analyze. They don't want to always know everything up front. You got to give them space and time to figure it out over time, like pieces of a puzzle. You don't give them all of you give them pieces so they can put the puzzle together because they like putting things together. Number fours tend to live in their head a lot. Their mind is always um, working, always thinking. What's up, Kevon? Thank you. Thank y'all for your support. Those are people whose minds constantly are working, constantly analyzing. Um, and we're going to go to those erogenous zones of the body soon, but let me go through the numbers first. And four is the air number. So they do like a level of freedom. Um, you got to kind of give them a little bit of room, to if you don't trust them, then that may later become a problem for them. When you're dealing with someone who's born under the number five, those are people born on the fifth, people born on the, where's my mind right now? People born on the fifth, on the 14th, people born on the 23rd, people born, yeah, fifth, 14th, or 23rd. Those people are very interesting people. They also like a lot of intellectual challenges. You'll get a number five person having really good conversation with them. That's something that will stand out if you're trying to attract someone under a five vibration. Now, mind you, all of these numbers also correlate with signs. So we're going to go into the numbers that rule the signs as well. So you may be a Gemini born under the number six, but Gemini also deals with five. So this might also resonate with you, even though you may not be born on a number five day, if that makes any sense. And if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments. Tamara, you funny. Well, I'm talking about sensuality, so I had to get a little sexy with it. Had to play the part, cuz. Uh, But number fives also love freedom. They love mental stimulation and they love freedom. So those are the type of people that like to kind of tease people that they are attracted to. Even people they're not. They like the promise of, that I can do this, but wouldn't you like to know kind of thing. Those are the people that kind of like to tease, but they like their freedom as well. Um, if you want to deal with aspects of sensuality, fives tend to like multiple partners. So, not necessarily all at once, but some fives may. But they tend to like um, many options sometimes. It takes a lot to get them to settle down, and even getting them to settle down, you still have to give them a sense of freedom. So this is not only people born, as I stated earlier, born under these number days, but also people who may have a life path five, or who may be in a five personal year cycle. The numbers, every number affects everyone different ways at different times, but some numbers are more prominent with people in their specific numerological charts. And five is also an air number like four. So moving on to number six. Number six is, oh, and one more thing I want to mention about fives. Fives sometimes, because they have this sensuality about them and they have this teasing thing about them sometimes, and they tend to just, even not even trying, just they just let out this sensual energy. Um, Sometimes they get unwanted advances from people. So sometimes it may be someone that is on their ass and they're really not feeling them like that, but they just have this air about them that is so sensual that people are like, wow, you know what I mean? When they want to step out, it's like, ooh, it's like they got glitter on their ass. um, uh, so if you're gonna, oh yeah, if you're gonna go on a date with someone born under the five vibration, you want um, something out the box, but in a sense of diversity, because they tend to like diversity. So if it's a person who may be a West Indian person, one under the number five, you may want to take them to try new food or to, a new restaurant or something just different. You want to take them maybe to try Ethiopian food if they never tried it. They like diversity. They like just stepping out the box and doing things that they've never done before. So if it's someone, you don't want to take them on a regular mundane date. You don't want to take them on something like regular dinner and a movie. That might not impress a person born under the number five or that has five in certain areas or aspects of themselves. They also like to talk. So conversation stimulates them. We know as women that our stimulation tends to come a lot different than men. When men are stimulated, they're stimulated a lot of times by the physicality instantly. Whereas women, it's kind of has to be a buildup. So if you're trying to attract a woman with the number five vibration in her astrological chart or in her numerological chart, you want to mentally stimulate her. You want, it's the type of woman like this. Say, for example, you want some that night with a number five woman or a woman who is under an astrological sign ruled by five. What you would do earlier in the day is you would be very loving, gestures of affection earlier in the day, because by that night it's a buildup. You stimulated her mentally. She wakes up in the morning and you like, girl, you so beautiful. Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Or you send her a text, or she wakes up to flowers or something like that. Or you surprise her and send edible arrangements to her job. Things like that. It's like, oh, that's something that they will also like, but they also like that mental stimulation. So that might be a person that may want to play chess, like different things. That's what my mind is saying. Play chess, different things to attract that number five person. But mental stimulation, but also if it's a woman, especially, it needs to be a buildup. Um, Moving on to number sixes. Number sixes are naturally very sensual. They love um, family, home life. You know, if you're taking a number six on a date, you might want to take them someplace with some good food, good down home cooking. Um, but they like stability. They don't, because six is ruled by the element of earth. So they need something stable. They need a partner that's going to show stability where they don't have to waver. Hey Candace, how you doing? I thank y'all all for the support, yo. Um, People who are born under the sixth vibration, you want to feed them good food. You know what I mean? You want to introduce them to your family if you're serious about them, because that means a lot to people who are born under the number six vibration. You want they love family life, like family home life. Those are the type of people that might be cool with Netflix and chill type of date. Because they're earthy, down to earth. You don't have to, you won't impress a number six as much buying a whole bunch of diamonds and different things a lot of times. And wine and dining is cool, but not all the time. They want, you know, the security, the hominess, the realness. because they're down to earth. They're ruled by the earth element. If you're moving on to number seven, number sevens, I spiritually feel that number sevens like unspoken gestures because they're very highly intuitive and they like to be alone. You have to give number seven people time to be alone and disengage, time to have their own space. Excuse me. Um, Number seven people also like mental stimulation, and they're also very analytical, like four people, but they also are intrigued by the occult a lot of times. Some of them run from it, but it's naturally in them. So, say for example, a number seven person might enjoy something like, they're very philosophical. So they may like stuff dealing with philosophy. They may like to go to a lecture with you. You know what I mean? And uh yeah, number seven in there. You probably do. You probably do. But I know you're born under the number one, but you probably have that number seven somewhere in there. Number sevens are very interesting, but they are kind of insecure. They hide. Um, so you have to give them that security. Number sevens, you have to be patient with. They're not someone that's going to rush into a relationship with you, even if it feels 100% right. They have to kind of put their little toe in and then ease their way in the water. Seven is a water element as well. Yes, documentaries. Them sevens would love a documentary. You know what I mean? Because they love to learn. Sixes love to learn too. Sixes love education as well. So with sixes, with sevens, with fives, but more so with sixes, sevens, with fours. You not to be funny, but you can't be a dummy with them. Like because they want someone who they can have conversation who can understand them on a certain level. Um, and they also need reassurance, those number sevens. They need reassurance because they tend to have anxiety issues and they tend to doubt themselves. The water element numbers tend to doubt themselves, which are with the two water element numbers are 2 and 7. Dealing with the number 8 person. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not saying the sorry. Add this to y'all notes, y'all, if y'all taking notes. Number 6 people are born on the 6th, the 15th, the 24th. Number 7 people are born on the 7th, the where's my mind? 16th and the 25th. So I'm moving on to number 8 people. Number 8 people are born on the 8th, on the 17th, and they're born under the 26th. Number 8 people like money. They like security, they crave security as well, but they like money, they like independence, they like to kind of be in charge, and they like to be, a lot of them are very outspoken, a lot of number 8 people. They like financial support. If you want to get a number 8 woman or a number 8 man, number 8 man might like a woman who makes her own money, or they may just want to take care of a woman financially. um Number 8 woman like security, business partnerships, someone that they can build things with, build a family business with. That's something that would attract more so a number 8 person. Um, because 8 is ruled by Capricorn, but we're gonna go into the signs after I get through the numbers. Number 9 people, they love gestures of affection for everyone. Because 9 is the highest level of love. 6 rules love, but 9 is the highest level of love. So when you're dealing with a person who is a number 9 person, they are outspoken, they are feisty as hell, they are fiery. They are fiery, honey. They are feisty. They like fearlessness. They like challenges. You know what I mean? If you give it all away to a number 9 person, they'll probably take it. But if you give them a little bit of a challenge, they'll like that more and they'll respect that more. Um, they tend to like doing charity kind of work. So if you're into doing charity kind of work and you're trying to attract a number nine woman or a number nine man, giving food to the homeless, different things like that, that would be something that they would love to do. They're very feisty though and very fiery, and they say what is on their mind and very blunt. So these are people born under the number nine, but also people who may have a nine life path or who may be in a nine personal year cycle or have nine in other aspects of their chart. Maybe their alignment number, one of their alignment numbers may equal to a nine. So they have that fiery, feisty energy. Those are the people to me that may like to break up and make up, fight and love makeup sex. So now we're going to go a little bit into the master numbers with attraction and sensuality. 11 and 22 are the two main master numbers recognized in astrology. What up, Meek? And I see you, Candace. I'm gonna come back. I see your birthday. um, so 11 is a master number, 22 is a master number. So dealing with people who are 11s, 11 is a higher vibration of the number two, so it's a water number. Me personally, I look at 11 as a fire and a water number because it's an 11. It's a water number. What's up, Chanel? It's a water number that's comprised of two fire numbers because one is a fire number. So it's a double one. So they have this element of fire and water working through them, at least from my aspect as a numerologist. And 11s love partnership. They have to be able, they're loving people, but don't misuse them. A lot of times 11s get misused by people. They get misused because they're give the shirt off their back to you kind of person. You know what I mean? They love to help others. They love to listen to everyone else's problems, but also be that shoulder for them because they will appreciate that at some point. Um, and I think that because they're also a water element, they love unspoken gestures of affection. You know what I mean? You don't just tell an 11 or a number two person that you love them. You also show them. It's important to show them. That's the same for the earth and the water element numbers, the sixes, the eights, the 11s, the twos, the sevens, gestures of affection. You don't always have to say to these people all the time, I love you, I love you, I love you, unless they really need that reassurance, but you need to show it. You need to show it through reciprocation. And last but not least, with the numbers, we have the number 22. 22 is a air number because it's a higher vibration of four. It's a master level master number four. However, I personally look at it as a water and an air number because it's comprised of two twos. Four is an air element number, but the two itself is water. So they're sensitive, but they also see master numbers to me need double stimulation. You can't just stimulate them one way. Number 22 people need mental stimulation as well as physical. 11 people need emotional stimulation, but um they also need you to kind of take charge with certain things as well. They need to know that they can trust you to take charge of things. So moving on to the astrological aspect of it, these numbers. So the number one is ruled by the sun, and it's also ruled by Leo. Okay. So you may have a person who's not born under the number one, but who's a Leo. So this information may still pertain to them. Um, and their erogenous zone is the heart because Leo rules in certain aspects of astrology. Leo rules love, the heart. You gotta be affectionate with them, and the upper back as well because they carry a lot on their shoulders. You know what I mean? They're the lion. They're the warrior. They're tough. You know what I mean? So if you're trying to stimulate a Leo, for example, or maybe even a number one person, massage their shoulders. You know what I mean? Um, Leos love to be pampered, gestures of affection, surprise the Leo with some damn flowers, things like that. They may not always just like flowers though, so you got to kind of mix it up because they like spontaneity because they're a fire sign. So you don't want to just give them the typical flowers and candy. You got to switch it up on them a little bit, get them excited. Um, and the sun is ruled by the number 1 and the number 4. We're gonna go back to that. Number two. Number 2 is ruled by the moon. And Cancer is closely connected to the number 2. I hope I'm not losing y'all and getting confusing. If I'm getting confusing, please let me know so I can break it down even further. Um, the erogenous zones for Cancers and for people under the number 2 are the breast. I'm a Cancer. See how I'm dressed? We're talking about sensuality here. The breast, the chest, the stomach area. So if you're dealing with, you're trying to please someone with the 2 vibration or someone who is a Cancer, you want to pay a male or female, pay attention to their chest area. They may like to be stimulated through their chest, through the nipple area, different things like that. Um, Number 3 is ruled by Jupiter. Pisces and Sagittarius are ruled by Jupiter. So let's start with Pisces first. Pisces, the feet is their erogenous zone. You like a Pisces person, you're into a Pisces person, rub their feet. Take care of their feet. Take care of your feet. You got some fucked up feet, you're going to turn off a Pisces. You will turn them off if your feet fucked up. They're ashy, they got the fungus growing in the nail that's not attractive. So, you got a Pisces man or a Pisces woman and they had a hard day. You come home and you rub their feet. That's an erogenous zone for them. A lot of Pisces may have foot fetishes as well because that's their erogenous zone. Um, Sagittarius is also ruled by the number 3, but Sagittarius, their erogenous zones are the hips, the thighs, the booty. They turned on by that. So they may like sexual positions where you hitting it from the back. That may be the thing for Sag. You know what I mean? They and I've known Sag women and Sag men to be attracted to the gluteus maximus area. I used to have a Sagittarius homegirl, and she'd be like, "That guy got a nice butt," and I'm like, "What?" But that's it makes sense because it's Sag. When you look at the symbol of the Sag, it's half man, half horse. But look at those legs of the symbol. It's these strong legs like a stallion. You know what I mean? The legs, the thighs, the butt area. So a Sagittarius may like to be pat on their ass. Okay. Moving back to the number 4. Number 4 is also ruled by the sun, just like Leo. Um, I already touched on 4. Sorry. 5. Moving on to the number 5. 5 is ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury deals with communication, the throat chakra. 5 is ruled by both Virgo and Gemini. This is why you'll see these odd Virgo Gemini couples come and pair together because they're ruled under the same planet and the same number for that planet. So they tend to like communication. You have to communicate with them. You know what I mean? Clear communication. But their erogenous zone is the abdomen and the digestion. So you want to feed them. If you got a number 5 woman and she's pregnant, rub her belly. That would be something that they may like. Kiss their bellies. You know what I mean? If you're in the heat of passion, different things like that. Also they might like you to have a tight belly. You know what I mean? They especially Virgo and Gemini to an extent. You can't be coming in sloppy, your belly hanging out. Nah, you got they might want you to be kind of tight with it and look good, have nice abs. Abs will be stimulating for them sensually. Moving on to the number six. Number six is ruled by Venus, and Venus is ruled by Taurus and Libra. Venus is the planet of love. Their erogenous zone is the kidneys, the arms. I know it sounds weird to say the kidneys, like how you gonna hit somebody's kidneys, but their arms are important. Um, hugs, hugs, lots of hugs, maybe even hugs in the middle of making love. Sometimes you're making love with someone and you're in a position where you get to hold them and embrace them. That may turn them on like crazy. Also, if you know anything about Tauruses, Taurus also tend to love financial stability. The earth and the air, not air, the earth and the water signs tend to love financial stability. So, you can't come broke at a Taurus usually. You ain't gonna get so far, especially a Taurus woman, because they like to be adorned and they deserve to be. They're the element of the earth. Like, you give your offering, you give her some bracelets, give her some jewelry, glam up every now and then. Um, and I noticed that Taurus and Libras tend to like clean cut people. Take care of yourself physically if you want to attract these people. You know what I mean? Don't be a man with your hair ain't cut, looking crazy, your beard all scruffy. You want to attract her. Keep that beard and that line up. Keep it clean cut for them. Um, moving on to um, oh yeah, I touched on two, but seven and two are both ruled by the moon. Um, and seven and two includes the my mind. So many thoughts in my mind at one time. But those are the numbers that are ruled by the moon. So I already touched on the breast and the stomach area, different things, the chest. Moving on to number eight. Number eight is ruled by Capricorn, and that's ruled by the planet Saturn. So those erogenous zones are the knees and the bones. You know what I mean? That might be a person where you have to take care of their to help them. You have to make sure that they take care of their joints and different things like that. But Saturn, should I say it? Saturn can kind of be prone to fetishes as well. So keep that in mind. Moving on to number nine, people. Number nine is ruled by the planet Mars. Nine is ruled by Scorpio and Aries. Their erogenous zone is the genitals, the genitalia. Um, those are the people. They're very feisty, very fiery. If you know any Scorpios, you know any Aries, they they like to fight. Not necessarily fist fight all the time, but like the argument. They like a little bit of a fight in the sense. Let me give an example. You can't just be too easygoing for them. They'll get bored with you. You need to be difficult sometimes. Sometimes just pick a fight with them over nothing, and then they'll get a lot out and be aroused by making up, because they like that feisty, that fieriness. Um, and moving on to well, that's it. We went through one through nine. So, moving on to people's questions. What questions do y'all have? Are y'all trying to attract any people with specific number dates that they're born in? You can type in the birthday of the person that you're trying to attract, the person that you're trying to get to, and we could talk about their numbers and how you could attract them, what you can do to turn this person on, or what you can do to um, stimulate them even in the bedroom. I see Candace, you wrote 12883. That's you, mama. You're born under, let me write your numbers down so I could calculate. You're born under the number one vibration. So you probably like self stimulation. And someone who can please you orally. They can't be whack at that. So let me do some stuff with your numbers real quick. 128. Hmm. Your first alignment number is an 11. Calculate. Boop, 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 boop. 1983. And sometimes what you'll find in astrological charts is you'll find um, certain things are exactly the same for an entire generation. So you'll have an entire generation that may have certain placements that are exactly the same in certain parts of the chart. That's because that's the alignment of the planets during that time. Every planet moves at a different speed. So you might have a planet that changes every 5 years. This is not true, but I'm just using it as an example. You might have another planet that changes every 10 years. So people born in that 10-year gap may, um, sorry, somebody's texting me. People born under that 10-year gap. Thank you. No, you ain't missed nothing, Jasmine. We still going on. Y'all can always go back if y'all need to refreshing the information or take notes. People born in that 10-year gap may have specific placements in that generation. So for example, if you notice a lot of um 80s babies from like maybe the late 80s to part of the 90s, a lot of them have their eros in their astrological chart in like Aries. But if you notice, one of the popular things right now is BDSM. A lot of rough sex is promoted. You know what I mean? I want him to grab my hair, choke me, things like that. It would make sense for that generation. If I'm making sense to y'all, let me know if I'm making sense to y'all or if I'm confusing y'all. I ain't finished with you, Candace. I'm just going into multiple things. Um, but Candace, you are a take charge kind of person, but you also value partnership with other people. And it's funny because you kind of have these two energies where you go back and forth. It's like you don't like to wait for people to do shit because people could disappoint you. So you like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the shit done. I'm gonna get the job done. That's part of that number one energy. But you do seek a partnership and a balance with someone who allows you to be yourself, but who can also hold their own, but who can support you in what you do based on the numbers that I'm reading from you. Um, Also, certain signs are a little sadomasochistic. So like Virgo, for example, they tend I wouldn't be surprised if a Virgo is into something like BDSM because Virgos tend to like to in the bedroom inflict pain. But they not I'm not saying that I'm not trying to insult any Virgos. I'm not saying y'all rapists or nothing crazy like that. But I'm saying y'all may tend to not shy away from things like that. Screaming to the lazies in the That's right. That's right. And see, men come and they're attracted to you, Candace, because you're just a beautiful person and you're a beautiful woman. But they try to do slick shit. They try to run game on you, and that's what that that element of that first alignment number being an 11. People try to take advantage, but you're not the one. Not with your birthday. Now, I will say this: a lot of people born under the number 28 of any month, they tend to have relationship challenges if they have not had a good model of um, parents or adult figures or parental figures that modeled healthy relationships. So that's something to be aware of. You know what I mean? Um, there was something I wanted. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me just jump real quick back to the BDSM stuff to the Virgos. Virgos have they're very interesting of a sign because tend to they like to keep their shit private and be discreet about everything. They can be into some of the most kinkiest things, and you would never know unless you knew them personally. And they feel like that's my business. That's my business. What I do is my business. And they'll be the ones to come out like with the whips and stuff like that. Pisces, which is opposite of Virgo, they tend to like pain inflicted on them in a way. They tend to be like they tend to like pain inflicted on them in a way. Not to say that it wouldn't surprise me if a Virgo or a Pisces is into May sound fucked up, but rape fantasy kind of role play. You know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me if Virgo's into role play because that's their side. It's not surprising. Um, somebody else mentioned their birth. Oh, a couple of people mentioned their birth. Oh, yikes. Well, and y'all can always go back to on where I mentioned when I went through all the numbers and how to basically attract this person. But let me just finish up with Candace first, real quick. So, Candace, you're a go-getter. You're impatient. You don't have time to waste. That number one energy, if a person wants to get to you, they have to be a go-getter and they can't stop your grind. They have to be someone that allows you to assert yourself, and that's partnership for you. Because if they have their own thing going on and you have your own thing going on, that's a partnership that will work more for you. Um, moving on to Shantae. Shantae is a number 8 person. 8, you're Taurus number 8. You like money. You like to be adorned. You want to be wined and dined, honey. But you also you ain't gonna deal with a man that's coming broke. He can't come broke. He can't come at you broke. He can't come at you with no means of financial stability. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that. It doesn't make you any kind of gold digger or any of these bullshit that people try to say. Men are supposed to support. That's part of their role as a man. Women and men, we have our roles in relationships, and you have to find people who have roles that are compatible with you. You know what I mean? If you're a woman that wants to be pampered, you need to find a man that is willing to do that. And a lot of the men who are the take care of the family type of men, to take care of the woman type of men, a lot of times fall under the sign of Virgo, Taurus, even Cancers. Or they may not even be a Virgo, Taurus, or a Cancer, but they might have Virgo, Taurus, and Cancer in their Venus in their astrology chart. So they may have those. It could be a Sagittarius man. You know, Sagittarius men, they like to hoe around a lot of times, but they like to be kind of free. They just like to have fun. But if that man in his astrology chart has a Venus in Virgo, he take care of you. It's interesting how the numbers and the signs correlate and work with each other. All these metaphysics things, man, it's amazing how all of these things were left here for us to navigate through the world and through different things going on. Um, but yeah, you're a number 8. You need support. You need financial stability, security in business, partnership. You're the type of person that will build a business with your mate. And that would be something that you would like. You want to build legacy for your family. That's important to you. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not saying she a gold digger, but she not messing with no wrong nigga. That's right. That's right. That's right. You right, Durga. You are right. Number 8. She's a number 8. You better go ahead and use those numbers, mama. And somebody else typed in something. Let me see. I think it was Jasmine 123. Oh, an Aquarius. Oh, also, getting back to Shantae, the man gotta feed you good food. Tauruses love to eat. Tauruses love good home cooking, good food. They can't take you to a place with no whack food. That might turn you off. Like, you gonna take me to this restaurant with this whack ass food. No, Tauruses love to eat. They love the food because Tauruses, Cancers, even Virgos like comfort food. Because it's fulfilling to the soul. You know what I mean? It gives a level of feeling of completeness. And you don't fuck with a Taurus in their food, especially if they're hungry. See, a man can't have you waiting on a date and be late and leave you while you sitting there hungry. They might not be date number 2. So that ain't gonna work for you, mama. Jasmine, you are a number 5 vibration, honey. You are sensual. Sensual. You are the type of woman that you need an intellectual man. You can't date a dummy. It has to be a man who can stimulate you intellectually, but who allows you to be free at the same time. allows you to freely express yourself at the same time, to go out with your friends. Not a man that want to keep you home all the time. You got to be able to go out with your friends. You got to be able to go out and mingle and have that, you know what I mean, security of him still being there. You're very sensual with that three energy. And even when you try not to be sensual, your sensuality just, it just, it comes through your pores. You know what I mean? It's something that just comes out of you naturally that you just can't help. So you'll have people come on to you that you may not even be interested in, and they might be like, I love the way Jasmine walk. Jasmine got that walk, or she, that's your husband. See that? Yeah, yeah. Fives have to be stimulated mentally. That's what will stimulate them in the bedroom. If you're a man who can hold a conversation, because remember, even though you're an Aquarius, five is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet that deals with communication. You can't stay long in a partnership with someone you can't fucking talk to. You can't stay long in a partnership with someone who you can't share your ideas and have an intellectual conversation. If it's a dummy, then it's like, I can't talk to your ass about nothing. You try to say something and you can't flirt. You feel like you can't flirt, but you naturally flirt. It's just something that just comes out of you naturally without you trying. That's that five vibration energy. You can't help it. And a lot of men will look at you as kind of a tease. You know what I mean? Because the five women, they sometimes adorn themselves and they get fly and they just have this energy and it's sensual and it's feminine and and you're not trying to turn them on, but you turning them on, girl. You turn them on anyway. uh, and you're an Aquarius. So Aquarius is sometimes, at least the men, Aquarian men don't pay attention sometimes. Like a woman could be coming on to them and they don't get it. It's like, you don't catch on, nigga. Like, I want you. And they'll get it after, like, oh, I didn't realize. um, Let me see what else y'all said. Your husband says that all the time. I'm sure he does. Oh, Durga, your partner is a number six. Oh, he loves home and family. He loves home and family. Um, to stimulate another, see, not to be funny, but even though he's a man, right? Six is ruled by Venus. Massage his arms and things like that. He loves home and family. He loves being there for family as a number six man, but he has some insecurities. You have to keep a number six person feeling secure. That's also a very sensual number. You know what I mean? They get fives and sixes get a lot of attraction from people. A lot of people be eyeing them. whether they want to or not, whether they try to or not, it's just something that naturally comes to them. But a six person, you have to have consistency because six is an earth number. So you have to be grounded. You can't deviate from routine. With the earth number, if every single Sunday you make breakfast, y'all sit together as a family and eat breakfast, the one time your ass don't deviate from that, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be an argument. That one time, why we ain't eating breakfast this Sunday? What's going? They don't like the switch up of the routine. That's all the earth signs. They tend to like a level of stability and routine. And the earth signs are um, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The earth numbers are 6 and 8. So if you're born under the six, you're born under the eight, you need a level of stability. You need a level of consistency in your life. And when your partner deviates from it, then it's like, what's going on? They got somebody else. They trying to get somebody else. What's going on? Why they not doing this? Why they not doing that? So it's important to know the element that's attached with the number and the sign. Um, Going back to Jasmine and to Candace, y'all both are Aquarians. Aquarius is also an air number, so y'all that also tells me that y'all also like intellectuals. Y'all also like people that are smart, people that put their, put things together in their mind and that are able to have intellectual conversation. If it's a person where you ask them, you're having a conversation and you're like, what do you think about past lives? Oh, I don't know. It's like that's a turn off. Y'all gonna be like, oh my God, this ain't gonna work. Because air signs, and the air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. They love the mental stimulation. They don't like to go too deep into heavy, heavy things a lot of times, but sometimes, depending on certain aspects of their astrological chart and their numbers, they can go into the heavy stuff. But a lot of times, air signs, they like intellectual conversations. They like light conversations. They like things that they can learn from. They like to try new things. But if you can't hold a conversation, you can't really hold on to them. Think about air. Air can't be contained in one space. Air is free flowing. You cannot contain an air sign like that. Air is everywhere. So, you think of the element, they need also, just like the fire signs, a level of freedom. Oh, what up, Josh? Yes, Gemini. Gemini, y'all have to be intellectually stimulated. Intellectually. You can't be with no dumb girl neither. That'll turn you off. You'll be like, wait a minute. This girl, oh my gosh, I done told her to make candy. Like on that episode of Martin, where they were making the Thanksgiving dinner and they were going to make candy yams and they put candy in it. You would turn your ear side off. They'll be like, this W, I can't believe that you came in like a Gemini too. He sure did come in like a Gemini. Oh, Jasmine, you said your husband is a Pisces. Oh, he's a Pisces. Okay. Feet. He might have a foot fetish. He might love to rub your feet. Girl, keep your feet done. That will turn him on. Keep them toes done. Keep them nails painted. Hook it up. Pisces they have a foot thing a lot of times. Um, but Pisces are interesting. Pisces are interesting. They're another very sensual sign. Um, they love sex. They're a water sign. And so that's the water and the air element coming together. He can sometimes maybe even he's free flowing. See, Pisces to me, even though they're a water sign, in certain ways they're kind of like air because they're so free flowing, but they still need every now and then that reassurance. Because Pisces, when they go through their aspects, where they go through their depressions and different things like that, Pisces love to kick themselves when they're down, but they tend to find their way out of it. With a Pisces man, what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't experiment with something like ecstasy or different uh drugs that will, arouse, because a lot of Pisces like to kind of get high and when they get into that world. Because Pisces are very dreamy. They have their own world. They are very imaginative. They are they have their own world, separate world in their head. It's something I've always mentioned about Pisces. My mother's a Pisces, my father's a Pisces, one of my grandmothers is a Pisces, my uncle's a Pisces. They have their own separate world that they retreat in their mind. But they're very creative people. But if you know anything about creative energy, my friend on my page, Melanated Stargates, mentioned this to me many years ago, and I never forgot it. Sexual and sensual energy is also creative energy. So you can channel that into the creation of things. You know what I mean? So if your man is someone who likes to make clothes, for example, he can channel that energy into that as well. They also can channel that creative energy into the bedroom. You know what I mean? And they're open where they may try a lot of new things in the bedroom. They don't mind trying new things in the bedroom. Um, you asking too much, Durga. No, I'm just playing, girl. You said, what's your alignment number and how do you calculate your life path number? Okay. So remember, I said the numbers that I'm talking about when I was talking about the numbers don't only pertain to the number day you were born. It may also pertain to your life path number or other numbers inside of your numerological chart or your astrological chart. I'm sorry, I'm having like little hiccups for some reason. I took some plant medicine called rape to kind of calm my nerves because I'm a little nervous today. I was a little all over the place and I needed to center and realign. And so like it's a little stuffy for a little bit, but which is normal for that medicine. But going back to life path, so you can be a number 6 person with the life path of a number 9. So what I'm saying about the number 9s and the number 6s could still apply to you. Both numbers and information could still apply to you in different aspects of yourself. To calculate your life path number, I'm gonna do that one first because it's easiest. You calculate the month, day, and year that you were born. Take it all the way down. It's going to be a big number. Then you simplify that number by adding those numbers together. You simplify the numbers in numerology by adding the numbers together, and you keep adding them until they equal a single digit or unless they're a master number. Excuse me. And the master numbers that are recognized in numerology are 11 and 22. So let me do one for y'all. So we're going to make up a mock dummy person, right? So let's say a person is born 8/15/1982. You would write it like this. Then you would add it down. 8 and 2 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. 10. Carry the 1. 10. Carry the 1. 2. So then you're going to come up with this number. Now you have to further simplify that number to get the life path. So now you do 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5. Zeros, of course, is 0. So 2 plus 5 is 7. So a person born on this birth date has a 7 life path number. So even though this person is born 8/15, which makes them a Leo, and Leos are usually typically extroverts. They're usually people that like to be out there. You might meet a person born on this birthday who's more reserved and quiet. That's because their life path is a 7. Or they might need to learn to be more reserved and calm because their life path is a 7. You understand? So, what I'm saying about sensuality and sexuality and attraction, the number 7 information um, it is for that person as well, but not just the number 7 information because they're born under the number on the 15th day. And 1 and 5 is 6. So, they're a number 6 person. 6 is their personality number. So, the information I gave on the 6 and the information I gave on the 7 would still both pertain to that person. Nobody ever is just tied to just one number. So for a 6 person, they love home, they love family, they like stability, they like routine. For the 7 person, the 7 aspect of themselves, can y'all see that? The 7 aspect of themselves may need every now and then periods of solitude to be alone. They may need reassurance because they may be a little insecure at times. Because 7s, a lot of times, the water numbers, the 7 and the 2, tend to doubt themselves, but they're very intuitive, but they tend to doubt their own intuition a lot of times until they learn how to master listening to their inner voice. So, this is how you would calculate a life path number. Alignment numbers is more complex because there are multiple alignment numbers. And alignment numbers is something that every numerologist does not do. Alignment numbers are something that is really comes from a theory from a specific numerologist. Everyone doesn't do the alignment numbers. I do because one of my numerology teachers taught me alignment numbers. And so everyone has 4 alignment numbers. And the alignment numbers are basically numbers that you need to are kind of lessons that you need to kind of learn throughout your life to navigate through this realm, through this lifetime. So, for example, we'll use the example of that person, 8/15/82. Their first alignment number is going to be their day and month added together. So, 8 and 15 added together, which is 6 and 8, which is 14, which is 5. So, their first alignment number is going to be a number 5. The second alignment number is their personality number, which is the number day that they were born. So they're born on the 15th, which equals 6. That's their second alignment number. Their third alignment number is the calculation of their entire year. So they're born in 1982. So we would have to go 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 2, which is 2, because it equals 20. 20 is the compound number. 2 is their third alignment number. And their last alignment number will be their life path, which is 7. So this person, this mock person born 8/15/1982, their alignment numbers will be 5, 6, 2, and 7. So with the number 5, 5 is a number that is often seen in entertainment. When people to go into entertainment and make it big, or go into writing and make it big, you tend to see the number 5 around them, or you tend to see the number 3 around them. 5s and 3s tend to be kind of popular people, very likable people. They both love to talk. But 3 kind of deals with more of the gossip aspect. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Wendy Williams had 3 in their numerological chart, because she built her whole life off of gossip. Now, 5s, if a person alignment number, the first alignment number being a 5, tells me that they need to make sure that they communicate more. They communicate clearly, and they organize and discipline themselves, because the lower vibration of the 5 can be kind of flip-floppy, scattered, different things like that. So they need to, because 5 sometimes they'll start things and they won't complete it. They start things and they have to complete their shit. 5s and 9s do that. And 5 and 9 is connected too, but that's a whole nother story. The 6, this is a person that may need to build things with their family. A lot of number 6s, if they had well-rounded families, they tend to want big families. They tend to have issues with their families if they have like a dysfunctional family. But you have 6s that don't have a dysfunctional family, that come from a pretty well-rounded family. And when they come from that well-rounded family, they tend to make great fathers, mothers, different things like that. Very nurturing spirits, very loving people. 6s are very, very, very loving. Of course, I could say that because I'm a number 6. But if a person has like traumas in their family, which I would read through their numerological chart, and I see that their alignment number here is 6, they have to practice forgiveness of their own family, because they can hold a grudge, honey. Remember, 6 is an earth number. 2 being one of their alignment numbers, they have to practice listening to their intuition and using their throat chakra and speaking up. Speaking up. They have to learn to work with other people and not be challenging all the damn time. And 7 as an alignment number, to me, tells me that they need to get into spiritual practices. They need spiritual grounding. I ain't gonna go all the way into it too deep, because I still need y'all to hit me up for some readings. I have a reading tomorrow, actually. Um, I see Laura wrote her birthday. Hold on now, Laura. 8/30/1987. Oh, Laura, you don't mind public displays of affection, honey. You don't mind a man grabbing you up. This is my lady. With that number 3. Because that 30 is number 3. That's your personality number. So number 3s tend to like a magnetic attraction. Y'all will be attracted to the man. Not to be funny, but if you're from the hood, you might be ones attracted to the drug dealers when you're born under the number 3. Because 3s tend to like in certain ways, they tend to like, drama kind of follows the 3, and they tend to somewhat kind of like it. But with people with number 3s, they tend to not shy away from public displays of affection. They tend to like that magnetic attraction. They tend to like conversation. And they want you to be upfront and honest and straightforward with them about stuff. A man that lies, that hides, that's not for a number 3 person usually. That will get on your nerve. That will get on your damn nerve, because it's like you're not speaking your truth. You have to speak your truth to a number 3, because number 3s are going to speak their truth, and they don't have filter when they speak their truth most of the time. It's hard for a 3 to not express how they feel, and the person has to be able to take that and listen to that rawness, you know what I mean, of your feelings. And it's not that you guys try to be harsh at all, but yeah, You have to say what y'all feel. Y'all can't just hold it and contain it in. 3 is a fire number. If you light something on fire, the fire going to spread. It's not going to stay in one place. Just like air. Air cannot be contained. Fire is not going to stay in one place. Fire has to spread. And if someone tries to contain you, it will spread worse and it will go off. So if you have a partner who won't allow you to express yourself and you're a number 3, that's going to be a big argument. That's going to blow out of proportion because they have to know that you have to release. 3 also deals with communication. You have to release. So a person for you so if you want to talk about compatibility, the numbers compatibility are different from the signs compatibility. Sometimes you'll see 2 signs that are typically not compatible, but their numbers are compatible. So for example, you may see a Cancer. I always use myself as a example. I'm a Cancer. You might see a Cancer get with a Sagittarius. Now, if you go to any of these horoscope things that's surface level bullshit, it's not too deep. They're going to say, oh, they're incompatible Cancers and Sagittarius are incompatible. They're only looking at the sun signs. They're not looking at the numbers. They're not looking at the astrological chart. It could be a Cancer with mad fire in their chart. It could be a Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, with mad water in their chart. Or it can be a Sagittarius with a water number. It could be a Sag that's born under the number 7 or the number 2. And they could be together and be happily together. So it's a whole lot more to it. I also do couples readings. Y'all can hit me up separately if y'all want couples readings as well. Laura, yes, he's a number 7. Oh, he hides secrets. He hides things. But he's very intuitive. And he has the capacity to be spiritual. Be very spiritual. He's June 16th. He has the Gemini element, but he's not as, he might even have a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing kind of going on. You let me know, Laura, if this resonates with your guy. But 7s are deeply emotional. They need time to be away and to have their own space because they're loners. 7s and 1s tend to be loners. So they tend to do a lot of stuff alone. Sometimes they need their own thing to themselves. And they need to kind of have a level of secrecy to themselves sometimes. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But I could definitely see why you're attracted to him. Because that Gemini energy, the communicator. Let me write something down. What his birthday? Let's see his life path. 6/12. 8/9. Sorry, y'all. I'm just calculating. 9, 18, 27, 28. His life path is a number 1. He has to practice being original. He has to step out more into the world. He has to, you could probably teach him to be more outspoken. That's something that he can kind of learn from you, with you having that 3 energy. And I see why you guys attracted each other, because Virgo and Gemini are ruled by the same planet, Mercury. They like the communication. Oh, I know he drive you crazy. I'm seeing it in these numbers. I'm trying to be nice, y'all. But I gotta tell y'all what I see and what I feel. His life path is a number 1. Did he come from a stable background in his family? A healthy, well-rounded parental situation? It don't have to be biological parents, but whoever raised him, were they stable? If they weren't, he have a lot of problems in relationships because of that life path. But he needs to have those moments and those times alone. Yeah, he needs solitude sometimes. Y'all can't be together all the time. Y'all will drive each other crazy. Because your feistiness and his quietness and calmness, Y'all got to give each other time. He didn't have a stable family upbringing. Yeah, relationship issues. Yeah. And nobody's damaged goods. Everybody just need work. We all need work. I need work. You know what I mean? I'm working on myself constantly every day. Yes, Tess, how are you? I haven't seen you in so long, it feels like. Tess. Oh, you're 616. Oh, wow. Tess, I always thought you was. Oh, wait. I always thought you was an Aquarius, but you are an Aquarius. Your dude is a Gemini. Ah. Tess, when's your birthday again, mama? You got a 616 man too? See, but it's a little different because I could see the attraction with Tess and your man too because it's the air elements. Because he's a Gemini and you're an Aquarius. You know what I mean? Y'all understand each other on a very basic level, at least. Y'all have a basic understanding of each other. Let me do his life path. 1980. Tess, when's your birthday again, mama? He not quiet, Laura? Well, that number one coming out. He ain't quiet. That number one of that Gemini. See, sometimes the numbers and the signs can overshadow other things in the astrological chart or in the numerological chart. For example, you could be an Aries, right? No, you can be, let's switch it. You can be a sign that's typically known to be more calm, like a Taurus. But you could have fire numbers all through your chart. You can be a feisty ass Taurus because of those fire numbers. If those fire numbers are stronger in if they affect you in a stronger way than your calm sign. Because Tauruses can be calm, they can be laid back, they can be quiet. Think of the bull. A bull moves slow. All earth signs to me move slow, physically move slow. Like they take their damn time. They drives me bananas, but I love earth signs. Move slow, take their time. But if they have a fiery number, like if it's a number one Taurus, person's a go-getter. They don't play. They impatient. You see what I'm saying? Because that number, that feistiness of that number can overshadow that sign. It happens sometimes. And a lot of times that's also comprised of people's personal experiences in life. Maybe they were calm as a child and life experience made them have to stand up and be more forward, made them have to tap into that one energy more. So things happen. Or they could be a fire sign that's calm. What the fuck fire sign y'all know is calm? Well, if it's a fire sign with a more calming number that prefers more peace, that prefers to be more laid back, more stable. They may be a fire sign, but they may be more grounded. So they may not act like a typical fire sign. You understand? Go in the test. Oh wow. Oh, Tess, I see so much compatibility with you and your man, girl. Mm-hmm. Nonsense. Oh, oh, wow. Tess, your man, he has a 22 life path. He lives in his head way too much. He overanalyzes. He overthinks. He doubts himself a lot, even with things that he's good at. He is sensitive. You're more sensitive than him, though, in certain ways, because you're born 211. Don't forget, you guys, if y'all can, hit the Cash App, hit the thank you for everyone who did donate. There's no minimum donation. Hit the Cash App, hit the Venmo. There's no minimum donation. Whatever you're able to give, I'm very appreciative too. Because this takes a lot of studying and different things and preparation. I didn't do my song like I usually do, but that's okay because we going into sensuality. But I had some sensual music playing earlier to get my mind right. I'm gonna go back to you, Tess. I ain't forget about you. 18. Oh, hmm. You and your man have a lot of compatibility, Tess. Your life paths are both air numbers too. His life path is a 20 is a 4, 22 4, which is a 22 is a master number. Your life path is a 23 5. You can be, and I know you do hair. I think you should get into becoming a celebrity hairstylist. Push that. Because you have a 5 life path. You can put yourself out there. You're very versatile. You can get people to gravitate to you. And this is 2021. This is a number 5 year. So this is a year where really you should put yourself out there. You may not always put yourself out there because you're born under the 11th. And you have to be wary of people trying to take advantage of you, uh, um, and misuse you and use you up, especially being born 211. You're sensitive, you're emotional, you're very, very intuitive. You feel things. You might even have vivid dreams and see things before they happen. Your man too, if he taps into that side of himself. He's a 22-4 life path and he's born under the number 7 vibration. That's a lot of mental energy. Overthinking, overanalyzing, second guessing, a lot. He has to do things to maintain his mental stability and his emotional stability. He needs reassurance. You have to reassure him. Sometimes he needs a pat on the back. And you have to help him when he overanalyzes to let him know sometimes you're thinking a little too deep into this. You know what I mean? Because you don't want him to overanalyze to the point where you don't want him to overanalyze himself into anxiety, depression, or any mental illness because he has those numbers. But he can also build things masterful, probably multi-talented, by the way. He can go into work where he has to use his hands and build things. Maybe even owning something like a construction company, if that's something he's into. Um, he pays attention to detail very closely. He may be on the calm or quiet side because he's always thinking and analyzing and watching every fucking thing. Always. He probably even has trouble sleeping because his mind, he doesn't know how to turn his mind off sometimes. You know what I mean? So, meditation, working on sacral and root chakra for him, getting into the chakra work for him. Also, things that will calm his mind. Maybe some teas. Oh, sneaky. Oh, yeah, because this is seven. Seven's hide. They hide things. um, but he hides things because he's afraid of what people would think or how people would receive him. That's why he needs the reassurance. Stuff like meditation will be good for him. Getting him into doing some type of meditation. Yeah, some type of meditation. And working on, see, certain chakras you want to work on with certain numbers. If you're born under the 2 chakra, you want to work on, in my opinion, not the 2 chakra. If you're born under the number 2, which is 2, 11, 20, in my opinion, you want to work on your throat chakra because 2s don't always speak up about things. They don't always use their throat chakra. Um, if you're born under, yes, very draining, very draining. And he doesn't mean to drain you really 100%. Kind of does, kind of doesn't. But he can't, he can't help it. He can't help it. Y'all got to find a way to kind of deal with that in a way where it's not draining you because you're born on the 11th. So people always come to you with their problems and lay their burdens on you. They lay their burdens on you and they lay all their stuff on you. But as the 2, you have to set boundaries on what you will allow and give yourself space to heal. And 2, because 2s tend to take on the world's problems. My goodness, y'all take on so much. 2 is a healing number. You guys are natural counselors, natural healers. People come to you and lay their burdens. Oh, Taz, my life is falling apart. I need help. People gonna do that. But you have to set those boundaries so that people don't drain your energy. Because all that they lay on you still stays within you because your water energy. You're still carrying it. So you have to have a healthy way of releasing it. Release it in your art. Because don't you draw, Taz? I ain't see you in so long. Don't you do art? I know you do art with what you do hair. Taz also, by the way, is an excellent hairstylist, you guys. I used to go to her for a couple of years when she was in New York. So definitely hit her up. I think you're in the Atlanta area. If you're in the Atlanta area and you want your hair hooked up, hit up Taz. But but what was I saying? Y'all both are water energies. Y'all both have a lot of water. Y'all water and air. You know what I mean? And it's hard for air signs who have that water because air signs don't typically like to deal with in-depth emotion, but that water is very deep. Water is in everything. Water is in every element. Water is very sacred. All the elements are sacred, but water is very sacred. And water deals with intense emotions. And that's why so many water signs are fucking emotional. The water signs are the Cancers, the Scorpios, the Pisces. People don't understand because our depth goes through levels like the water. When you look at the ocean, nobody's ever been to the bottom of the ocean. It goes very, very deep under layers. So when something hurts us, oh my gosh, it hurts through levels. So when you're a water sign or you have a water number, you have this emotional component, and the water is heavily affected by the moon. See, that's a whole nother topic. I ain't gonna go too deep into the moon today. Mama Moon, people underestimate her. I had a old friend one time tell me, "Oh, the moon is a dead planet." I thought that was so disrespectful, but I didn't know at the time how to explain. Like, no, the moon has a purpose, and so those full moon days may weigh on you guys emotionally heavily. You know what I mean? But the water is so deep and so sacred, man. And you got to cry it out sometimes, but you have to have healthy outlets to release that energy. Also, because you have so much water in you, Tess, I would also, if you're into anything like rituals, you may or may not be into it. If it's not your thing, that's fine. Water rituals, things dealing with water. Go to the water to help you heal yourself. Do spiritual cleanses, spiritual baths to release that energy that people lay on you. And give him a spiritual bath. Put some vencedor in there. Put some root oil. Put some herbs and spices. You know what I mean? Put some salt in there so it can wash away the negative energies. And speak into the water. Into the vibration of the water because the water holds memory. Speak into the water of what you need the water to do for you before you get in the bath. And you get in the bath and you soak in the water and you allow all those things to go down the drain. You understand? Um, sorry, I didn't mean to go that deep into water, but I will go where it needs to go. You said that's crazy, Laura. Yes, Mama. Yeah, this stuff goes very deep. The metaphysics are very deep, and people misunderstand these things. People who, a lot of times, I find that are heavily into religion. I'm not knocking anyone that is religious, by the way, because everyone has their path and has their what's aligned for them, what they need. But um people who are heavily tied into religion, especially from the Western hemisphere where we live, they misunderstand metaphysics as being mojo jojo or hoodoo weirdo stuff. These things have been here forever. Religion in itself has practices that are like this. Religion and holy books talk about these things. It's man that wants to keep people away from reconnecting with nature and reconnecting with metaphysics so that they can maintain control and become the God of everyone else. But you are your own God. That's a whole nother conversation. I ain't gonna get into too deep. Because I don't want to turn some people off. But yes, you had to buy a moonstone ring. Yes, some of the crystals. I'm not as heavily into crystals, but there's a sister on my page, Phoenix Nadi, another indigenous sister. She knows a lot more about the crystals. Her and another sister on my page, Celestine Wilson. If you go to them, they have these crystals and different things, different healing modalities, and jewelry they make out of these crystals. And you could hit them up and ask them, I'm spiritually drained. What kind of crystal would I need to carry with me? And they can tell you about the crystal and its properties and how it can help you with healing. And some crystals have their own vibration and energy. Some crystals you can't go to yet because you're not ready for. And the crystal senses that. See, these things all exist in creation. Nothing exists for no reason. All of these things have energy, have vibration to it. All of these things exist to help us navigate in this life because this life is fucking hard. You ever been through traumas? Everybody been through traumas. This life is fucking hard. It's not easy. So how do we get through it? Everybody finds ways. Some people get high. Some people sniff coke. Some people drink. Some people have sex all over the place. People try to find ways to deal and cope, but you got to find healthier outlets so that you don't go into a hole of self-destruction. You know what I mean? Yes. A healer from a Mexican tribe. What kind of healer you need? I got some connects, mama. And actually, I know a sister who I haven't worked with her just yet, but she does some healing work and she's right in Atlanta as well. So I might be able to link you with that sister. And, I get a good vibe of energy from her, but I haven't worked with her yet to give you firsthand information. Um, yes, Matt, how are you? And I know so many beautiful healers of different colors. Not so many, but I know a few really good, thorough. I mean, there's some white healers I know, some black healers I know, some Hispanic ones, beautiful, beautiful energy, powerful people. You know what I mean? So let me know what kind of healing you're seeking out and what you want, what you need. We're going to kind of wrap up though, so with the sensuality, unless y'all got some more questions or more things y'all want to go into about sensuality and attraction with astrology and numerology. I usually don't combine it in my videos, but I'm going to start combining it more because I'm brushing up more on my astrology even more. Yes, girl. It's funny. I started studying astrology and numerology when I was 15 years old, just out of curiosity. And I would go with my sisters, my older sisters. They would go and they had to study or do different things. We go to these bookstores and I would look for any book I could find on astrology and numerology. And I'd be reading through it. And then when I got some money, I started buying them. And I understood, but I didn't really understand it on a deep level. I didn't have a teacher back then. I was my own teacher. I had a teacher. I was my own teacher. But I was young. I didn't have certain experiences and different things. And then life brought me back to these metaphysics as I got older. Sometimes I use the metaphysics for different things. If I'm applying for a job, I know if I'm going to get the job based on the address, the numbers in the address. I'll be looking at it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this job. And sure enough, I get it every time. If I ain't going to get it, I'll be looking at the numbers of the address, even the dates that I'm interviewing, choosing the dates wisely. The reason these things are important, because metaphysics are used on the people. This whole COVID-19 bullshit is some form of witchcraft on people. And it's some form of misuse of the metaphysics. See, I'm trying to use it and teaching people to use it in a proper context, not misuse it in a negative context. But it's misused against us all the time. All the time. That's why they have certain government meetings on specific dates, on specific times. They are using the metaphysics that they taught all of us to be afraid of, that they taught all of us are evil. Oh, it's telling the future. People misunderstand those things heavily, but it takes a level of wisdom to really, 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 really understand it. And you have to let go of everything that you thought you knew to grow. That's evolution. You know what I mean? Why do I attract Cancer? Because you're a Virgo. Virgos and Cancers attract each other and they get on each other damn nerve. But once they get past a level of understanding with each other, a lot of times they can do well. Virgos and Cancers, they have struggle with each other though. But they're very similar in a lot of ways, just the astrological sign, not specifically the numbers, but just the astrological signs. They have a lot of the same basic foundational values, whereas Virgos they tend to value financial stability, home and family. Um, they tend to value things of that nature, and Cancers do too. At their best and at their worst, they tend to have similar values. At their worst, Virgos and Cancers can have that insecurity about themselves. They can overanalyze, pick themselves apart in private, not in public, in private. You know what I mean? A lot of them do that in private. A lot of Virgos and a lot of Cancers do that shit in private. Oh, maybe I'm not so smart. Maybe I'm not this. Y'all better stop that shit or start working on stopping that, because what you speak out into the ethers in the air is what you manifest, and your spirit hears these things, and you attract negative things to your spirit by thinking of yourself negatively. So that's something that has to stop, but it takes time. You can't stop everything overnight, you know what I mean? It takes time, it takes work, it takes a level of trusting people who you can trust, who are trustworthy, to help you get through those things. You know what I mean? Knowing who to trust. If you're somebody that's been scarred your whole life, you don't always know who to trust. Um, but yeah, Virgos can be a little harsh on Cancers, and Cancers could be kind of clingy to the Virgos, and it could be fucking annoying to the Virgos. Because Cancers, we want the security, and we like, oh, I really like you, I really love you, don't go. Think of the elements too. Cancer is water, Virgo is earth. Water and earth tend to go together nicely. Just like air and fire tend to go together nicely. You see what I'm saying? Water and earth, think about it. The earth needs water to survive. Think of the planet. The planet is comprised of water and earth together. You go deep enough in the earth, you find water. Air and fire go together. Fire and air need each other. And what's interesting is that opposite signs are usually the opposite element. So real quick, opposite signs. So let's start with Aries. Aries is a fire sign. Aries opposite is Libra. Libra is an air sign. Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign. Taurus opposite is Scorpio. Water. Earth, water. Air, fire. You see how they play hand in hand. So those two elements tend to go together, but their opposition tend to be the opposite element. But I was gonna say something and it slipped my mind about the element, but that's okay. If it comes back, I'll bring it back. What's up? What's up, Pata? What about Scorpio and Gemini connection? Ha ha ha. See, I would have to know more than just Scorpio and Gemini. I would have to know the birthdays, at least the month and the day. You don't have to give me the years necessarily, because it's very surface. That's water and air. So a regular typical astrologer would say, if they're doing surface level work, oh, water and air don't seem to go together. Their elements don't go together. Now, if their numbers align, then they might be a happy couple. They might get along. Exactly, sand at the beach. Earth and water need each other. But the opposite sign, the polarity of the opposite sign also reflects a side. They opposite signs have similarities, even though they're opposite and they may get on each other's nerves sometimes. So like Libra and Aries are air and fire. Fire is the Aries, air is the Libra. And they may be opposite in how they express a lot of things, but they have a lot of similarities. And each polar opposite can reflect qualities of each other, even though they're opposite. But going back to the Gemini Scorpio connection, Scorpio's water, Gemini's air. You know what I mean? I mean, water is in every element, literally. But I need you to give me the birthday of the Scorpio and the birthday of the Gemini so I can give a more comprehensive um, idea of their compatibility. But Scorpios are very intense emotionally. They very feisty, especially if you piss them off. They can be very loving and giving. Scorpios are nosy too. They nosy. They want to know your business, but don't want to always reveal all their shit. um, Geminis have their two sides to them. They need their freedom. A lot of Geminis like technology. They tend to gravitate to like the newest iPhone and different things like but that might also reflect a Gemini that's raised in the Western hemisphere, that's raised somewhere like America. A Gemini that's raised in another part of the world may not be so much like that. Um, but yeah, you have to give me more information than just Gemini Scorpio. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes for that information before we close out. Thank you everybody for supporting. Thank you everybody who hit my Cash App. I appreciate the donations. Even if it's $5, I am very appreciative to these donations. Anybody who hit my Cash App is $ A Zabriskie. Or you can hit my Venmo. I'm going to type it in the chat. This is my Cash App. So this helps fund me so I can continue to do these things and have more time to do these readings for everyone. And my Venmo is that's my whole name with a dash in between. Okay, November 16th. Huh. And May 21st. It's a lot of 3 and 7s coming through on this line today. A lot of 3 and 7s compatibility together. Oh, that Scorpio hide shit. They're very sensitive, very analytical. They move slow. They can't be rushed into a relationship. They want to take their time and analyze everything around it first to make sure that they want to deal with you. May 21st. That's a cusp baby. Okay. So speaking of the cusp, what's a cusp? For people who don't know, cusp are people who are born in between two signs. They're not just one sign, they're two signs. So that May 21st is not just a Gemini. That May 21st is a Taurus Gemini. Now, some astrologers may say, oh, after the 20th or after the 21st, they're in this sign. It all depends, but they still are so close to that time of the planets and the shifting that they can still be considered a cusp. So the May 21st person, Taurus and Scorpio are actually opposite signs. The May 21st person is probably an outspoken person, a person because they're a number 3. They have the 2 in it though. They're a 3 comprised of a 2 and a 1. So they have their moments of being calm, especially when they're more aligned with the Taurus energy. When you have a person born in the cusp, um they display behavior of both signs that they're in between. One sign may be more stronger than the other at different times in their life. So it might be one year where the Taurus energy is more stronger for them than the Gemini, and another where the Gemini energy is more stronger for them than the Taurus. That May 21st person probably likes to go out. They might like to be a social butterfly if they're more aligned with their Gemini side and that number 3 vibration is stronger for them. The November 16th person is more of the homebody, needs time alone, more of the loner. It's an interesting couple. I'm interested to even know more. You can definitely hit me up for a couples consultation outside of this so I can dive deeper into what the attraction is because they're very, just with those birthdays, they're very different. You know what I mean? That November 16th, that 16 is comprised of the 1 and then the 6. So it's like, even though it's a 7 energy, See, that November 16th person get mad, they go off. They can go off and fly off the handle. But they prefer to be calm. They prefer solitude and peace. They prefer to be more laid back, more to themselves. Whereas the May 21st person, that lady, more outgoing, more outspoken. She may even have friends that she loved to gossip with. Love to gossip with. You know what I mean? Uh, hmm. Has to be careful not to be dragged into controversy, drama with other people, or people bringing her into shit. She has to be careful not to get into it. But I don't want to say they're compatible or not. Just basically looking at those two birthdays, I wouldn't say that they're very compatible, but I would need more information. I'll have to do a whole consultation for this one. But thank you all. Um, I hope that the information that I shared with you guys resonated with y'all. Thank y'all for all the support. I went on way longer than I anticipated, but I love y'all so much from the bottom of my heart for supporting me. You know, I left teaching, but I'm gonna go back to teaching at some point. But in the way I'm teaching now, but I left my regular 9 to 5 job, you know, to pursue things like this, among other things, and to become more independent. So I really appreciate the donations. I really appreciate the support. Even if you can't donate, I really appreciate y'all being here, sharing my videos, whatever. Like, it's all love and it's all appreciated from the bottom of my heart. I thank y'all. You know what I mean? I've been going through stuff like everybody else, but it's all a blessing, and it's all of the things that I've been going through have been rites of passage, and they are teaching me every step of the way and helping me to become and grow into who I need to be and who I'm supposed to be. So I am very grateful from the bottom of my heart for all of y'all. Stay tuned tomorrow. We're going to go more into astrology. We'll probably go into the houses and different things like that. Um, and what the houses represent. I gotta come up with an idea of a plan because these things are so broad. I have to find a way to focus them. Thanks, all of y'all. Peace and love. Aho. That's what my ancestors say. Aho. Hey yawawahe. And thank you all. Much love to y'all. Have a great night.